Hello and welcome to Chapter 14, Part 2. All right. So, again, we're going to write some notes and you submit them as homework. All right. We're going to get into the registry now. And so, you got to be very careful if you're going to play around with the registry. So, get familiar with it before you really make any changes because that really can hang up applications and really screw things up for you, too. But anyway. So, what happens if you try to install an application and the applications refuse to uninstall? So, what are you going to do? The best way to do it is to go through and do it through the registry. But before we get into that, you have to understand what the registry is and how it works. So, let's start Let's writing. Number one, how is the registry organized? So, the first thing you are going to write, there are five files that are stored in the C Windows System32 config folder. These files are called the hives, and they are named the SAM, Security Accounts Manager. That's what username and passwords are, by the way. Security, software, system, and default hives. Each hive is backed up by a log file and a backed up file, which are also stored in the C Windows 32 config folder. All right. The other thing you need to know is that the C user's username netuser.dat file, which holds the preferences and settings of the currently signed in user. All right. Now, there are the H key local machine, the H key current config, H key users root, H key users, and H key current users. So please, this is, by the way, a good of looking at them, but I want you to write at least the first sentence or two of each of these H keys. All right. These are the hives and how the registry is set up. All right. So after you write all of these down, so let's go to step number 2. The first thing you're going to do once you understand how the registry is set up, step number 2 is you back up the registry using the system protection that we talked about earlier to create a system restore point. All right. Step number 3. What you're going to do is you're going to back up, edit, and restore the individual keys. You can do that if you want to, any of these individual keys. And to do that, you want to open up the registry editor, all right, by just typing, go in here and type regedit, regedit, right click on the key and export. That's it. You can right click on any of the keys, click on export, and you're good to go. You may edit, rename, or delete any value that you want. Right click and select the appropriate options. By the way, later, if you need to undo your changes, exit the registry editor and double click on the saved export file, and you'll be good to go. Then you're back to normal. All right. If you want to do manually removing a software, the first step you're going to do, write these down. All right. So if you don't want to go through the registry. Number 1, first try to locate and use the uninstall routine provided by the software. If you can do that, then you're good to go. You're done. Step number 2, delete the program folders and the files that hold the software. Then you go to step number 3, you delete the registry entries. This is going to be the challenge for you. If you're just going to delete the files, the folders, the desktop shortcuts and all the goodies, you still have to go into the registry and remove the software entry, the registry entries from in there. So to do that, number 1, there are 10 steps that you have to go through. So you remove the files, and then let's see here. Delete the registry entries. So there are 10 steps that I want you to follow in there. Okay, so please, you can follow that. Again, be carefully when you are doing that. And then when you're done with that, you remove the program shortcuts that's on the desktop, and then you remove the startup processes. Okay? All right, so moving on. Troubleshooting hardware problems in Windows. So what happens if you're having hardware problems? All right, if you are having problems with the display settings and graphic software, well, the display setting and graphic software, what do? You can access the display settings that you see right here by right-click on the desktop and click display settings. All right, and then you can go through the menu and see what you have to do. You can check the resolutions and all of those good stuff that you need to do, right? Uh, you can check the refresh rate, the dual monitor setup, the color depth, all of that. All right. You may have, okay, so what else can you do? Okay, that's the color management. This is for Windows 8. Another thing, number 2, other than the display setting, update the DirectX. Remember, the DirectX, write this down too, in addition to the display setting. The video firmware on the video card or the motherboard chipset can interpret the information about the hardware and diagnose the problems with DirectX. So the first time you execute the dia.dxe file, write this file right here. All right, that's command. A message box will appear and asks if you want to check whether your driver is digitally signed. That's something you want to double check. All right, what happens if you have print problems? Write this down. You want to go to the console in the administrative tools group of the control panel. Okay, so that's where you go to do that. You should definitely try some of these. Just be able to go there. All right. And what happens if you have limited connectivity to your network or to the internet? All right, so you want to verify the network cable is connected. You want to make sure your wireless router, if it's a wireless router, that you did not lose internet connections. So you may be connected to a network, but your wireless router will tell you that there is no internet connection. Sometimes you can turn off the router, turn it back on. If that doesn't work, if you're at home, turn off your modem, count 10 Mississippis, turn it back on, and then turn back your router on. Because sometimes what happens is it gets jammed up. You want to clear things up. All right, go to the device manager to see if you have any device drivers that have not been recognized by the operating system, right? All right, so that's it for chapter 14. All right, we're doing well. We're getting close to the end of the semester. All right, so write down the notes and submit them as homework, and I'll see you on the next chapter.